If there was one thing this match proved, it was that writing off the Springboks is always a dangerous mistake. Before kickoff, the conversation wasn't only about whether South Africa would beat Scotland. The real debate was about the players. Could Handre Pollard silence his critics? Was Ambroise Papier still good enough to perform at test level after such a long absence? Could the returning stars justify Rassie Erasmus' faith in them? And with several key players unavailable, would the Springboks still look like world champions? Those questions created huge anticipation before a single ball had even been kicked. But what happened over the next 80 minutes answered every one of those questions in dramatic fashion. This wasn't just another international rugby match. It became a showcase of experience, resilience, and the incredible depth that has made South Africa one of the strongest teams in world rugby. Right from the opening whistle, there was a different energy about the Springboks. Every carry looked aggressive. Every tackle carried intent. Every contest in the air felt like a battle that South Africa refused to lose. It quickly became obvious that Rassie Erasmus had once again prepared his team with incredible detail. The players looked confident, organized, and completely committed to the game plan. Scotland tried to challenge them with pace and creativity, but the Springboks answered almost every question with power, discipline, and smart decision-making. Then came the moment that changed the atmosphere completely. After years of waiting for another opportunity, Ambroise Papier reminded everyone exactly why so many South African supporters had never stopped believing in him. It had been a long road back to the test arena, and many wondered whether he could still perform at this level. Instead of playing cautiously, he attacked with confidence. When he spotted the smallest gap in Scotland's defensive line, he accelerated through it without hesitation. In a breathtaking burst of speed and footwork, he danced past defenders, left both Fagerson brothers chasing shadows, and crossed the try line in unforgettable fashion. It wasn't simply a brilliant try, it was the perfect comeback story. In one magical moment, years of patience, hard work, and determination were rewarded, and the crowd erupted in celebration. If that wasn't enough, another player who had been under enormous pressure decided it was his turn to answer the critics. Throughout the week, many questioned whether Handre Pollard deserved his place after an inconsistent domestic season. Social media was filled with debate, fans were divided, and expectations were uncertain. But the experienced fly-half never tried to prove anyone wrong with words. Instead, he delivered the kind of performance that only great players can produce when the pressure is at its highest. His tactical kicking constantly forced Scotland backwards. His calm decision-making allowed the Springboks to control the tempo of the match. Every high ball was handled with confidence, every important kick found its target, and when South Africa needed leadership, Pollard provided it without panic. By the end of the afternoon, the same people who questioned his selection were talking about why he deserved the Man of the Match award. That is the difference between criticism and class. Great players simply let their performances do the talking. As Scotland slowly tried to find momentum, another Springbok quietly began taking control in the midfield. Damian Willemse, playing in a different position from the previous week, looked completely comfortable despite facing one of Scotland's toughest defensive units. Time after time he attacked the gain line, made intelligent decisions under pressure, and showed exactly why coaches trust him in almost every position across the backline. Then came a beautifully worked move with Grant Williams that opened just enough space for Willemse to explode through the defense and finish a superb try. It wasn't only about speed, it was about timing, vision, and confidence. Moments like these highlight why versatility has become one of the greatest strengths of modern Springbok rugby. Alongside him, Jesse Kriel produced one of the game's defining moments. Timing his run to perfection, he burst onto Pollard's pass and raced over for a try that effectively ended Scotland's hopes of mounting a comeback. It was the type of play that looked simple on television but required outstanding awareness, trust, and communication between teammates. That's something this Springbok squad continues to demonstrate better than almost anyone else in world rugby. While the backs were producing exciting attacking moments, the forwards were quietly winning the battle where championships are often decided. Leading from the front was captain Pieter-Steph du Toit, who once again produced a tireless performance that reminded everyone why he is considered one of rugby's greatest workhorses. Every breakdown seemed to include him. Every defensive set featured another powerful tackle. Every line-out relied on his athleticism and experience. Even late in the game, when many players were beginning to tire, Du Toit continued working with the same relentless intensity that has become his trademark. His leadership never needed dramatic speeches because his actions inspired everyone around him. Another player earning more admiration with every test appearance was Paul de Villiers. Although still relatively new to international rugby, he looked completely at home on one of the biggest stages. His work over the ball constantly disrupted Scotland's rhythm, while his carrying and defensive effort reflected remarkable maturity. It is becoming increasingly clear that South Africa continues to produce outstanding young forwards ready to step into the international arena without fear. The Springboks also received encouraging performances from several returning players. Afilio Fassi looked composed under the high ball and handled pressure well despite one unfortunate mistake, showing that he remains an important option in the back three. Edwill van der Merwe worked tirelessly on the wing, competing strongly in the air and defending with discipline whenever Scotland tried to attack wide channels. Ethan Hooker, returning earlier than expected, wasted little time making his presence felt with strong defense, a key breakdown penalty, and an impressive attacking contribution before unfortunately leaving the field after failing a head injury assessment. Meanwhile, Evan Roos brought his trademark physicality before injury cut his afternoon short. Before leaving the field, he had already powered over for an important try and once again showed why he remains such an exciting weapon for South Africa. In the second row, Ruan Nortje delivered another hard-working display filled with big carries, important defensive moments, and a valuable first-half turnover. Although fatigue affected him late in the contest, his overall contribution reflected the incredible work ethic that defines this Springbok pack. As the final whistle sounded with the scoreboard reading 42-28, the victory represented far more than another win. It showed that the Springboks continue to evolve without losing the qualities that have made them champions. If there was one thing this match proved,